Here it is. It's my guitar. It's a Strandberg and it's my signature model, and it's based on the Bowden series, but it's got a few little personal specs in there. I've got a zero coat top there, which I really like the look of. I'm really a big fan of the kind of natural finish. I went for a bird's eye maple neck there. I thought it'd be cool to contrast that with this wood, with the tone knobs and the volume knobs down there. And this one's actually a coil tap as well, which gives you that twangy kind of telly sound, which I've always been a fan of. We've got this little design here that was created by my wife, Sev Jan. These pickups are worth mentioning as well. They're by Lundgren, and they're M8 pickups. They're incredible. They sound, they're not like overly high gainy, they're not too hot, so they sound nice and detailed when you're playing riffage, and they also sound very warm when you're playing clean tones as well. So they served me very well, because our music is quite eclectic. It covers heavy stuff, soft stuff, so they're perfect for me. So I'll take you down to this little bad boy here. This baby is called a Quad Cortex, and it's by a company called Neural DSP. They're incredible, and I've been using their plugins for about 3 or 4 years now, and they're insanely good. They're just brilliant amp simulations that make you sound like you're a better guitar player than you are, which is really good for me. So here I've got a scene set up. This one is the song Visions, which we've been playing on this tour. I've got it all as one scene, which allows you to seamlessly change between sounds whilst keeping like the reverb tails or the delay tails. So when you change from patch to patch, it doesn't just cut off, which is really useful. So in this one scene, I'll have maybe 3 or 4 different amps. I've got like a heavy amp, I've got a lead amp, then I've got more of a crunchy and a clean amp. And as you change patch, you change the amp you're using or the effects that you're using, and it's in a long chain here. And at the beginning of the chain, I've got a noise gate, which gets rid of all that unwanted hiss and dirt that you don't really want when you're playing live. Sometimes play around with the idea of having long reverb tails before the amplifier, which gives you like a really cool post-rock sound. Like here, if I go to, say that sound there, I've got the reverb before the amplifier, so the long tail from the reverb is going to be distorted and it's going to create like a big atmospheric sound. So I like to experiment with that. There's one other thing that I use live, because we often go down to E and my lowest string here is F sharp, so I'll often use like a pitcher like there. So if I click on this one, this will be my heavy sound, but before the amplifier I've got a pitch shifter which will take it down one tone, so I can play those low E riffage moments without having to change guitar or relearn the whole set with a dropped E guitar. So yeah, it's a really simple setup, to be honest. It's all contained within this one box, which I can put in a laptop case and just travel around with anywhere. So I wanted to keep the whole rig as compact as possible, really. As you can see with the guitar, it's very small, so I can get on a plane and put both of these things above my head, which is perfect for traveling. On this tour, I've been playing keyboards again for the first time in quite a while. It's been maybe 5 or 6 years since I played the keys, so I've been reacquainting myself with how it all works. Once again, it's a very simple setup because I'm only playing a couple of songs on the keyboards, but I've been using a program called Main Stage, and for my controller keyboard I've been using Arturia, and this is incredible. I've got one of these at home in my studio. They do incredible soft synths as well, like based on like retro modelling of all these old school modular synths which sound incredible. But this controller keyboard feels very nice, got great weighted keys, and essentially what's happening is I'm playing these notes here on the keyboard, and you can probably see it on there on my laptop. the notes are going into my laptop, sending that message, and the sound's coming from my laptop into this bad boy over here. It's Focusrite, and then that goes all the way over there to the desk to our sound guy Joe, and hopefully it comes out of the speakers. Really simple. I mean, I don't really know what's going on, but it seems to work. And actually, whilst we're here, I've got this little bad boy, which is called an EBow, and it's a really fun little tool. It allows you to imagine that you're a violinist. Can you hear that? It makes the strings vibrate the closer you get to the pickups. And I use that in the song Nightingale, and with that sound I mentioned earlier with the reverb before the amplifier, and it gives this big kind of atmospheric, almost like Sigur Rós kind of sound. Yeah, that's it. That's about right. So I hope you enjoyed the rig rundown by Richard Henshall.